As you can see, there are high and low pressures being carried out going west and east, depending on the winds. Going south and west from Colorado is a high pressure carrying warm, less dense air towards New Mexico and around to Arizona. And going to the east are both high and low pressures going through Texas, Louisiana, along the Gulf of Mexico, and across Florida. These pressures keep switching because of the temperature of either cool, dense air or warm, less dense air of each state. There are many different states that have different air pressures. There is warm air coming from Canada going through Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana into the Dakotas. Right there. And it goes back around into Canada. In the west is some warm air coming around through California from the North Pacific Ocean and back around to the ocean because of the winds blowing around the ocean through California. Right over here. In Texas, it is very warm in Houston, but very cold in Dallas because of the temperature of the winds coming from the neighboring states. These states are going from warm to cold and back again because of the winds that are coming from the surrounding bodies of water. As you can see, there are winds coming from Lake Michigan going north towards the Dakotas and south toward Ohio and Indiana. In the south by Florida, there are winds coming from the Gulf of Mexico going across Florida, going through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. In the northeast, there are winds coming from Canada heading to New York, New Jersey, Maine, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. The clouds are cirrus clouds because they are wispy and feathery-like, and the weather is fair with no rain and just the sun. When there is rain, clouds are huge and gray and take up the sky. But in this picture, as there is no rain except the sun, the clouds are wispy and scattered. There is a warm front of cold air and warm air in Texas that runs into each other that goes across the Gulf of Mexico through Florida. The warm air overtakes the cold air from the other states, and wind carries that air through Florida. As you can see, the states where the lower numbers are have the driest weather, and the states where the higher numbers are where the wettest weather is. All the states that are green are where there has been a lot of rain and low pressure with cold air and cold winds. The states that are white are where there has been normal weather, not too much rain, and not too hot. The states that are colored yellow have lacked rain and had started to dry up from all the sun. Heat transfer. Radiation is the energy that comes directly from the sun. The heat that we feel is called infrared radiation. That is when we can feel the heat that the sun's rays keep extending toward us. When the heat touches us, it warms us up, but then it might burn us if we expose ourselves too much. Too much exposure of anything will lead to the earth drying up. When the earth is wet, it is okay because when the sun's up, it dries up all of the moisture and warms the earth up again. As you can see here, this gigantic circle of red is the sun's rays extending toward the earth to warm it up. It's right over here. See, it's all around it, and that is just the sun's rays. Conduction is the direct transfer of heat from one substance to another. For example, when the sun is out, the heat comes down to the earth and warms up the earth. When people walk on the heated earth, they notice how hot it is, which hurts their feet, making them put on shoes. That shows that the sun transfers its heat to the earth's surface, and when people touch it, they expose themselves, making them protect themselves from being burned from the heat. As you can see here, this pan shows the heat being heated from the flames underneath it. The flames touch the pan and it heats it up, and then the heat goes up and to warm up the rest of the soup, and then goes back down to take the cool air back to the heated part of the pan at the bottom. All the words on here just explain what I just said. So, convection is the transfer of heat by the movement of a fluid. When convection is being played out in a fluid, the warmer fluid goes up to bring heat to the cooler fluid at the surface, heats it up, then goes back down, making the surface cooler again, and reheating the bottom of the fluid, and keeps going in that circle. Going up, heating the surface, goes down and heats the bottom of the fluid, making the surface cool again, and goes on and on and on until it has to stop. This just is a picture of water that's being heated from candlelight. And as you can see, the heat rises from the bottom, and then the cool air goes back down to the heated part. It's warm, and then it goes back up to be cold again, because the surface is not being heated like the bottom of the pitcher is. Thanks for watching.